Da-da-da-da-da-da. All right, so this is the first time ever truly doing this. I did this once, sort of, for Steve or Eric. He goes by both. But anyways, Diamond Family Homestead, I believe. He had a 036 steel that he wanted me to just blind port, and I did the best that I could. It seemed to run pretty good, but nothing special, you know. But anyways, let's see. This right here, what I've done, this is Forrests. Forrest is on the channel. He'll be down in the comments below and everything, so look out for him. This, he got an Echo 590, and he got a real good price on it. Real good price, like real good, like I think sub $75. I don't know. I don't want to be outing you there or anything, but he says it's extremely clean. It just burnt up the cylinder, and he cleaned up the cylinder himself. Right? He cleaned it up himself and sent me a nice cylinder and a brand new 590 piston. Okay, so in the future, guys, Forrest, you didn't know, no big deal. But in the future, whenever you're sending me this stuff, send it with the rings, because I use the rings to mark where to cut my ports. So I need a ring. Anyways, I came up with something, and this is for a Husky 51. So I mean, it's no big deal. And even if I didn't have that, I would have figured out something. But just for future. Also, Forrest, I got to point this out. This piston must have dropped or something. See that? There's a little bit, it's barely noticeable. There it is. It's right there. There is a little bit of a ding in that piston. Just a little bit. And so, well, I'll go ahead and... Where's it at? I've got a file here somewhere. There it is. I wanted to show you that before I went scrubbing on it. And then you think, what did he do to my piston? I mean, it's no big deal, and you could have just left it like that, honestly. But it does, whenever that happens, it causes a protrusion outside of its tolerances. And so it's best to take care of that. It's better to have a negative space than it is a positive one. So there you go. That'll work. So anyways, what can I tell you about the cylinder? The cylinder turned out A-okay. I feel like I'm getting good at these. So what we did, I only had to take, I think I took, I took 10 thousandths off of the base here. All right. And I took 20 thousandths off of the cylinder skirt, because I might have actually I think I took 30 thousandths, because with the last Echo that I did, and it blowing up like that, I'm not taking any chances that I'm sending this all the way to California and him having an issue with it. Because those right there, not on all saws, but on some mini saws, if you remove material from the base, you have to remove it from the skirt as well, because there's clearance issues and it won't go all the way down and seal. I'm not saying that's what happened to the 4910. I don't know what happened to the 4910. I've yet to look at it. But I wanted to be sure that Forrest does not have those issues. Also, on these 590s, there's a spot right here. I looked all over as best I could for a spot that might hit. And that right there is the only thing that I really found. And I got that off of there. And there's one more thing. This right here, it goes on your crankcase. Something like, no, like a these. Woo! Right here, like that. All right, take that out of there, Forrest, and cut it down just a little bit. Doesn't have to go much, but your cylinder is lower now, and this goes right like that, something like that. All right, and so you might have clearance issues there. So go ahead and take that out and just take some of it off with a little Dremel or something, or file, anything. So you may not need to. On this one right here, it didn't seem like I had to, but just saying, look out for stuff like that whenever you're putting this cylinder on. And I cut this to be used without a base gasket. So you'll need to use some RTV of some sort. What I use typically is Moto Seal. Moto Seal works good. But you don't have to use Moto Seal. You can use Durco high temperature. You can use, there it is, 1211. This is a 3-bond. Honda uses this. This is a Honda factory recommended product. So anyways, but Moto Seal is what most people use when they're doing something like this. And it's just a very light skimming on both surfaces. I put it on one surface, then put it on the other surface, and then put it together. And whenever I put it together, I have started them immediately. I ain't gonna lie. But you're a customer and all this stuff, I'm gonna say wait 30 minutes. Anyways, what else can I tell you? So the factory numbers, once I cut the base and everything, we were at 79 on the intake, and I lowered it substantially. Remember, there's no I can tell you right off the bat here. But what I was going to say is there's no base gasket, and the base has been cut. So it's quite a bit lower, which means your intake duration goes up naturally without having to do the machine work. We're getting close. I just know it. There we go. Andreas is 590. If you're porting stuff and you're not writing down things from everything you do, you need to stop and do it this way. So stock was 77 degrees intake timing, 76, 78 for your intake. Just by simply lowering it down further, it got me to 79.2. So we're good. That's all I wanted to do with the intake. I didn't do anything else. I left it exactly the way that it was. Again, these things have pretty nice, just like the 7310, they have a nice big intake. I don't think that you need to enlarge it. So left that the way that it was. The exhaust opening, once I lowered it, was at a whopping 113. And so I had to raise it. I actually raised it like 3 times or maybe even 4 times, going, oh my gosh. I mean, I had to take a lot out of there. But I ended up with 103.5, which is nice. A lot of people shoot for 102 on stuff like this, which is good too. But that number, the higher the number is, the lower the piston is before it opens. Okay, which means the more amount of time that you have in utilizing that explosion, the power of that explosion. And so whenever you have a lower exhaust roof, what you have is 2 things. A, more torque, because you're getting more power on every stroke. You're before the exhaust opens and you release it. So you're getting that. And what you're also getting is a lower RPM machines. Everybody knows that these Echoes don't, the 590s and the 620s, heck, they're rev limited at 12,000, right there at it, 12.2 or something like that. So what's the point in trying to make a screamer? There isn't one. The one that I'm copying with this build is the Echo 590 that I built for Andreas. And if you see any of my 590 videos, it's the one with the red top. And I will say that whenever I first put it back together, I was disappointed. It didn't run no better. It was like I didn't even port it. But once that thing broke in, my God, it came alive. And so watch those videos, right? Whenever I compare it to the stocker that hasn't been ported, it's like, what? Anyways, what I mean is, by what, is it wasn't any faster. But after he took it and ran it and used it, that thing was just as fast, actually a little bit faster than my 620. So, all right. Ramble. Trying to get it all to you, Forrest. The transfers. With Andreas's, I went with 20 degrees of blowdown. With this one, I went with 25 degrees of blowdown. I think that, like I said, I got a higher exhaust roof, which automatically I'm trying to build for more torque. Also, with the blowdown, having higher compression on that blowdown, and so it's got 25 degrees of blowdown instead of the 20, which means you got more crankcase pressure, right? That should also help to give you more torque, I think. So the crankcase compression is actually 48.8. Stock crankcase compression was 56.4. So there should be absolutely zero issue with any kind of spitback. It should be good. Now, you've already done the 620 piston, Forrest, right? We've already ported the cylinder. Oh, and let's have a look here. Yeah, let's do it like this because I'm going to turn. Anyways, can you see? The upper transfers turned out very nice. Can others do better? Of course they can. Let me tell you, man, if you guys are coming to me to get your saws ported, it's more about the fun of it than it is getting the best and fastest thing out there, because I am no Gary Buxton. I am no Dino Joe. I am no Charlie Briscoe. I am no Jason Egan. There's a lot of people I'm not. I'm no Kevin Levanaway. I'm no Pat, Cajun Work Saws. I'm no Aaron Lynch. There's a million people that I could say that I am not these people. I ain't, right? I'm me. And it was posed to me here recently about, somebody couldn't believe that I was getting, people were paying me to port their saw. Well, I don't know what to tell you, man. I mean, they offered. I said okay, and it has grown. When a person starts changing oil for the first time, very quickly he gets to a level where people will pay him to change the oil. I know that I'm not changing oil here, but you got to start somewhere. And for the most part, I think that every single person that sends me a saw to port, they're sending it to me because A, they like the channel and they want to support the channel and they want to see their saw being ported on the channel. B, they don't mind me learning and having fun and enjoying it and doing this stuff. And C, and here's the most important one, guys like Gary Buxton and Jason Egan and Dino Joe are backed up like crazy. All right, you can't even get to them. Okay, so whatever. I'm not sweating it. Mr. Jeep actually mentioned it, and I get it. I get it. I really do. I couldn't believe the generosity of people either. But, I have made it very, very clear that I am a novice. The channel is called Novice. And I am learning every time I do one of these. Every time. So, but the big thing to focus on, I think, would not be, oh my gosh, he's barely got any experience and he's charging $400 for a port job. Instead of focusing on that, you should focus on this. How many people have complained? As far as I know, it's one guy. He complained about a free port job that I gave him. Talk about look at a gift horse in the mouth, mother trucker. It was on a Chinese saw, and he claims it hung a ring. But now that I've seen what a saw does in hanging a ring, I gotta say, I don't believe that it did. I think that he got in there and maliciously did something. But whatever. One person has complained. And of all the people that could complain, it had to be somebody that I did work for free. The people that have paid me $400. Now, Forrest ain't paying $400. We're going to get to that. But the people that have paid me $400 to port their saw, they're like, that's amazing. The one guy I do a port job for free, he's like, this guy's a hack. Oh my God, the world is fucked. We are doomed. Sorry, that is really good shit right there to me. I'm genuinely enjoying that. You stupid chode. Shake it off. Shake it off. All right, so I am wanting to do more of this. Not now, because I am still frantic. Sorry, I am. I know you're sick of hearing it and everything, but I am. I'm still frantic over some things. And I got to start building my stuff for Sawfest, So, no more chainsaws until I say chainsaws. But people will still contact me and, hey, you want to port this? Hey, you want to port that? But this one's going to work. The one thing that you need to do, Forrest, besides what has already been done, you got the 620 piston, you got the ported cylinder. Actually, there's two more things that you have to do. Take your rings. Now, you've heard me say it, and you've heard me say it, and you've heard me say it, and you've heard me say it. These echoes are ridiculously hard to break in. One of the things that helps out, a little pointer that was given to me by Matt House, is take your ring, take some fairly fine grit sandpaper. This is 180. Go all the way around the ring. And hopefully you'll be able to see, we got a black ring, right? You can see it a little bit. It's shinier. Shinier. So there are coatings on these rings. It's just like black iron pipe. Black iron pipe comes with, sheet steel comes with a coating on it. That's why it doesn't just immediately rust, right? Black, shiny. Do that all around the rings, both rings. Now, you don't have to do this, but that right there is going to be the difference in probably 3 or 4 tanks before it breaks in versus 12 to 15 before it breaks in. Because these echoes are notorious for taking a long ass time to break in. So I would recommend doing that. The other thing that I would recommend is buying the Woodruff key. I think it's called a Woodruff key. It's just type in, go to eBay and type in Echo 590 key. And what you're going to come up with is a timing advance key from Matt. Matt Robinson makes them. His company is called Gearhead Performance. I think they're about $28, so it's a little bit expensive, but you definitely want it. You definitely want to put it on, you remove the flywheel and install that key. At first, I didn't think that it worked because I put the saw back together and it needed to break in. And I was like, I don't know if that key's worth it. But after that saw broke in, I'm telling you, it ran as good as a Husqvarna 372 X Torque. It was as strong as that. Maybe it wouldn't be quite as strong if you put a 28 or 32 inch bar on it, but it ran really, really good. So, anywho, and Rex, he bought my 620. These saws run good. So, put it in the comment, Rex, how good yours runs, brother. He bought my original Direwolf because I wanted to get the Shindaiwa version. And so, there you have it. What's left for you to do, Forrest? Well, for one, you got to pay me. So, what I charge for this, I can't do it on every saw, right? And typically, I charge $400 to do a port work, and that includes a muffler mod if it needs it, and it also includes dyeing the top if you want it. Okay, it also includes removing the restrictors out of the carburetor, all that jazz. So, I mean, I think it's a good deal, and I've yet to have anybody bitch. So, but because you're doing most of the dirty work, and you have to understand, there ain't no warranty in this shit, okay? you know, just I'm doing it. I've done a good job porting it. I'm sending it out to you. The rest is on you. So, but $200. You send me your cylinder, and I will port it for you. Send it back to you mail. Got to pay some shipping. So $210 is what I'm going to tell Forrest. $210 for this, right? I'll put everything back together and send it all the way back to California for him, and he'll have a ported Echo 590. But in order to get the performance out of it, you've got to do your muffler mod, and you have to do you have to put that the advanced timing key in from Gearhead Performance. You can find the exact same key at Saw Salvage as well. They're called the Dukes. That they sell that exact same key from Gearhead Performance and everything. So you can find it there as well. But just look it up on eBay. Echo 590 key, bam. You've already got the filter set up with the O-rings, and I believe you got those are from Matt as well. Matt Robinson and Gearhead Performance. That's good. But you're going to be golden. I'm looking at these. I got to do this. I'm really happy with the way those upper transfers look. They're good. You know? Makes me happy. Makes me happy. The whole cylinder makes me happy. Lightly polished on the exhaust. You can't really tell it, but these things have a ring on this side. So if you want to widen the exhaust, it has to pretty much all come out from out of here. So it is nicely widened up. It is nicely lightly polished. It is nicely beveled. And you're going to like it. But in doing it this way, obviously, I can't test it. I mean, I could put it on one I got over here, but that's too much work. You already know what mine run like. So that's enough of this video, I suppose. I got to get on that 4910 now and figure out why it blew up. I don't know. Kind of dumbfounded by that one. Later, guys.